take me until now to see this movie? What was wrong with me in 2017 when this came out? Why didn't I watch it? Why didn't I review it? Well, okay, I get why I didn't review it. I wasn't reviewing professionally back then, but dude, like I cannot believe it took me this long to watch this movie. Like, okay, let me give a little bit of context here. I love the Captain Underpants books. I grew up with them a lot as a kid. I read them a lot as a kid. And yes, I did the flip-o-matic thing way more than any sane person should probably do. But I really liked the books. I liked the story that they came up with. I liked the characters. I liked how it all felt so childish, yet clever in its own juvenile way. And the books themselves were just entertaining and funny. Like, I don't really know what else to say. They're fun, entertaining kids' books. So, with a movie adaptation of that, I wasn't entirely sure how it was going to work out, because, I mean, it's Captain Underpants. It's one of the most wacky, insane things ever written. How are you going to translate that into an animated feature? And mainly because of that reservation, not to mention DreamWorks absolutely sucking in the 2010s, I ended up skipping this movie when it came out initially, despite being a fan of the source material. Well, thankfully, thanks to the release of Dogman, I am actually finally getting to watch this movie, and damn, bro, like, this is way better than it has any right to be. So, with my new trademark hat on now, like, I'm done wearing the other ones. This is going to be the one that I'm going to be wearing for a grand majority of my reviews from here on out. Unless I'm doing a horror movie, then it's this. But, yeah, well, let's talk about this movie and why it somehow is great. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station, your number one sister for animation, including a superhero that fights for all good things Underpants, as well as TV and movies. I'm your host, Jackson Small. Welcome to my review of the Captain Underpants movie. Yeah, this is what my life has come to. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm being mean. But, yeah, with a concept like Captain Underpants, and as much as I love the books, them being so chaotic and wacky and in their own world, I wasn't really sure how an animated version of that was going to work. But, to my shock and chagrin, a lot of people really liked it, and it even made a couple people's best lists. So, with that, I've spent years kicking myself, because I'm like, oh, I missed out on a great movie now, didn't I? Because of my own stupid reservation. Well, I mean, it's DreamWorks, can you blame me? But, yeah, I finally saw it, and yeah, it's as great as everyone says it is. This is a fantastic animated feature, and I am super excited to finally talk about it. So, here is my long, lengthy written review for this one. It pretty much sums up all my thoughts as summarized as I can without going into spoilers. And I hope you enjoy. As someone who grew up reading the books a lot as a kid, I wasn't really sure how a movie adaptation would work. And with DreamWorks' very inconsistent track record in the previous decade, I just never saw it when it initially came out in 2017. However, to my shock and amazement, when I looked at reviews of it around the end of that year, they were mostly pretty positive, with scores ranging from a 7 or 8 from critics, all the way up to a 9 from most fans of the source material. And since I missed out initially, I've been pretty much kicking myself relentlessly ever since. However, thanks to the recent release of DreamWorks' adaptation of Dave Pilkey's second book series, Dogman, which, don't worry, I'll review it once I see it, I've decided to use this opportunity as a second chance and finally check the film out for myself. And after watching it, I gotta say, it's a great adaptation of the books and a really fun animated feature film. Humor, while looking lowbrow on the surface, is actually surprisingly clever and just as hilarious as its source material. Animation is spectacular and perfectly adapts Pilkey's signature art style into 3D, though not as great as the Peanuts movie did it. Voice acting is incredible from a very talented cast who all fit their roles really well, like Kevin Hart as, Harold, and what was the other guy? Kevin Hart as the other guy. The other guy that's not Harold. Very, very good in his role, surprisingly. But especially Ed Helms as Krupp / Captain Underpants, who was the best part of the movie. He was a non-stop laugh riot, and surprisingly, and also very intimidating antagonist all throughout the movie. He was the best part of it. He was 1-to-1 exactly like you expect him to be, going off of the books. The story is a really good parody of superhero movies and relationship dramas. Action is over the top and as wacky as its source material. Pacing is lightning fast, like this movie wastes no time. Runtime is perfect at barely 90 minutes. Music is great, especially the Weird Al song that plays in the credits, which is a bop. The Easter eggs and nods to the books are pleasantly nostalgic, and rewatchability is on the higher end, especially in DreamWorks' catalog. However, there's a few tears in this pair of boxers. Final act is really rushed as it tries to throw in elements from books 2 and 4, haphazardly for the sake of fanfare. The villain is very disappointing and not nearly as good as he is in the books. Like, Professor P, he was way better in the books, dude. Like, in this movie, he just felt like he was thrown in for the sake of needing some big final main bad guy. And a few jokes every now and then don't quite land, and there is a lot of potty humor. Overall, though, despite its issues, Captain Underpants still manages to deliver a funny, entertaining, and very wacky adventure that will appease most fans of the source material, as well as kids. Sure, it's not as epic as the peers that it's satirizing, but this hero is still more than worthy of his triumphant curtain cape. A great adaptation that is more than worth checking out. If you love the books, this is simply a must-watch movie. And even if you aren't a fan of the books, I think it's still worth a watch. It's a very, very good animated movie and a great time for fans of the source material. And because of that, even though it does have a few little things it could iron out, my final verdict for Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, is a high and well-deserved 8 out of 10. Sure, it's not one of DreamWorks' best movies. Sure, it's not like one of the best book adaptations of all time. But as a fan of the source material, it gave me everything that I wanted, and it was just a really funny, wacky, off-the-wall, and insanely entertaining animated film. Check it out if you haven't seen it already. It is definitely worth your time. As for the Netflix show, I haven't seen it, and I'm not sure if I ever will, because I do not trust Netflix's track record with DreamWorks. Okay, and that's it. That's pretty much all the thoughts I've got on Captain Underpants. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this almost every single day. And I will see you in the next review, which should hopefully be Dogman. I actually haven't read the books to this one because this came out after my time, so it's going to be a fresh new watch. So, yep. See you in the next review.
Lesson I'll soon forget. So listen and you won't regret. Be true to yourself, don't miss your chance, and you won't end up like the fool who